Well, today's episode, we're only going to feature two reviews. The first one is part of the GCW Collective with the promotion Santino Bros Wrestling with California Love. And I think we have two title matches and a number one contenders match. But also, we have for AEW Dark Elevation four matches, which is a real short one. But don't get me wrong, certain matches I did enjoy a whole lot. And of course, we'll cap it up with some news updates to tell what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events are being announced, what bookings are taking place, any special announcements, or anything that comes up on Twitter or whatever. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Gerard here. So, let's begin with Santino's Bros with California Love, which is part of the GCW Collective that took place at the Ukrainian Culture Center on March 30th. Now, those who don't know who Santino Bros Wrestling is, it's a promotion based out of Bell Gardens, California, which is in the LA area. Now, never seen any of their shows, but I have met many of the wrestlers that came from their wrestling academy there when they come here to show down with their friends from Level Up. Now, I met several wrestlers that came over there. Some wrestlers are really good and all that. Fortunately, not a lot of those wrestlers that I met were on this card, but nonetheless, the show was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie about that. But let's get started. Um, our first match, we have singles action. We have Eli Everfly taking on Kid Bandit. From what commentators saying that these two actually know each other pretty well. There was like a relationship between student and teacher. So basically, Eli was the teacher and Kid Bandit was the student. But the obvious question, like we normally see with these types of matches, where will the student be surpassing the teacher? Well, that's the obvious question. I mean, the match was good, but one thing I felt like there was a bit of a botch when it came when Kid Bandit applying the Angel Killer onto Eli Everfly. Like apparently there was the three count, but I don't know exactly what happened. It was more the referee stopped, like kind of hesitate. I don't know exactly. It kind of went a different direction, but nonetheless, the match went to Kid Bandit. Now our next match is a scramble match for the number one contendership for the uh, Santino Bros Wrestling Inner City title, which currently is being held by the Lila Doom. She's the real life wife of Eli Everfly. But here's who we have. First, we have Big Dick Haas versus Kodo Hero versus El Primo Hienon versus Alec Thomas versus Guy Ritchie. Originally, we were supposed to have someone in this particular match, but unable to make it. They replaced him with someone who's been familiarized with the promotion, that is Ray Rosas. So I think this match was pretty interesting in some capacity because mostly everybody we see this where they fight each other, but however, the biggest threat in this match was Big Dick Haas because the reason is he's a big dude. Everybody else were like either a little lesser than him, like Luchador, size white, or everything. But there was a great moment where all five had to work together to take him down. But like any other short-term alliance takes place in six-way scramble matches, someone had to take up the pin. But in this case, it was Ray Rosas, who picked up the win with a elbow drop onto Primo, giving him the number one contendership for the Intercity title. Next up, we got Ranchi Rico along with Damian um, R. Seneca taking on Tyler Bateman. Uh, awesome match, pretty good. I know that Bateman has been a bit of a trainer with Santino Bros. I don't know how long, but I've seen videos of that. But it was pretty good. But it was Bateman with a tombstone onto Rico, giving him the win. Next up, we got a bit of a reunion between two friends, Cameron Gates, and of course, you know this guy who is part of the LA Dojo, DKC. They're together known as the Bomb Squad. They take on Dom Kubrick and Lucas Riley. I thought this match was pretty great. I did not know the DKC had a tag partner. I have seen him a few times at Level Up, but also he was one of the champions for the Fist Combat promotion here as well in my town of San Diego. But it was a pretty good match. But the one thing that really stuck is how DKC took the bullet for Cameron Gates, but he was the one who had the pinfall. And after that, when things got a little interesting, it was what was his name, Dom, and of course Lucas that picked up the win with a cutter 99, and that ended. But however, when things seemed like they were like Gates and DKC were okay, look, I know I screwed up. Here comes Big Dick Haas, and of course Cameron Gates attacked DKC from behind. So basically, this whole thing is over between them. Our next match, we have Matt Vandegrift taking on Bad Dude Tito. Match was pretty good. Bad Dude Tito, as you know, this is show. This is his first show before heading to the Bloodsport 9 event for GCW. Uh, Pretty good, but however, it was Bad Dude Tito with the frog splash that gave him the win. Now, our next match is for the Santino Bros Wrestling Intercity Championship in a three-way. We have Heather Monroe versus Johnny Robbie and versus Delilah Doom. Um, I did like how Johnny and both Heather were working together to just get rid of Delilah and just focus on them. And unfortunately, that did not work on various occasions. But it was, of course, the slow motion by Delilah Doom onto Johnny that picked up the win. However, right in the end, we did see Ray Rosas, who we all now know is the number one contender for this title. However, Rosas became the most despicable person. He decided to beat up Delilah Doom, saying that it's nothing personal, it's just business. So basically, that's what it was. And he said he continued to punish her more. Even refs and other people tried to tell him to back off. So basically, Ray Rosas was invited for this event, but now he became the biggest a-hole in the promotion now. In our main event, we feature Willie Mack versus Chi Cabra for the Santino Bros Wrestling Championship. I thought this match was pretty good. I love this match. Not to mention, I have seen Chi Cabra many times over, but Willie Mack, I know many people probably had high hopes that he was going to walk out, but no, it was of course the meat hook by Cabra that allowed him to win. However, his manager, Damien Arsenic, decided to say, that he's untouchable. Even they decided to beat up Willie Mack some more. Matt Vandergrift tried to stop them, so did Bateman, but Damien got in the way, saying that he's unstoppable. And then he goes out verbally, how do I say, disrespect Slice Boogie, who was the previous champion, who had to relinquish his title due to an injury, you know. And of course, while he did not take the words from Damien too lightly, he attacked him from behind and showing him that he will reclaim the title that he did not lose. Which, of course, we've seen many times where many wrestlers had to relinquish their titles due to injury, but they never lost them. So that's always been a good play. Don't know when will this match will take place or if I will be able to see it. I think the match will take place in June or July, one of the two. But yes, so that's nonetheless, it was a good show. Not gonna lie, but I did enjoy it. I think that's pretty much it with this right now. Let's move on to our last review, which is AEW Dark Elevation. Okay, AEW Dark Elevation. So we only feature 4 matches on this one, which was a very short one, like maybe close to half an hour at most. But however, I think there was some good things about this match. These matches took place. Now, the first one we have is Kip Sabian teaming up once again with the Butcher and the Blade. They take on a familiar team from DDT Pro Wrestling. I was kind of like, uh, wish I could tell Paul White, tell him it's not DD, it's DDT. They were facing 37 Kamina, consistent of Konosuke Takeshita's boys, um, Shumna Katsumata, Yuki Ino, and of course Mao. And I think many fans were in for a treat. Now, if you guys aren't familiarized with with this particular team, they are very one of the most popular teams in DDT Pro Wrestling in Japan. Uh, Konosuke Takeshita is a member of that group. Um, Pretty interesting things to watch. I know, uh, Mao is one of those wrestlers you definitely can get behind. It was really fun. But however, in this particular match, it was Shumna Katsumata who ended up being in a sort of like power bomb combination between the Butcher and the Blade to pick up the win. So it was interesting. I was fully aware that these guys were going to make their way in because I'm not sure if Takeshita actually talked to Tony Khan, see if they can bring in for shows like this. But it was great. I enjoyed that as well. Um, our next match, we have the Renegades, Charlotte and Robin taking on Marina Shafir and Nyla Rose. Uh, Another good match. Not to mention, you probably would have thought that the Renegades were gonna use their usual switcheroo tactics like they always do. However, that did not go well because one of the twins ended up on the wrong side of the Beast Bomb, which is a good win for Shafir and Nyla Rose. Next match, we have the Dark Order, Evil Uno, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds taking on Aaron Rourke, Alvin Alvarez, and Brother Greatness. Um, I thought this match was interesting. As you know, we know that we feel like maybe this is the core member of the Dark Order since they were downsizing. Since we know that Angels left, Vance 10 betrayed them, that sort of thing. But I love seeing this particular combination of the trios between these two guys. It always helps out with this. It was of course Reynolds with the jackknife on Aaron Rourke that picked up the win. Next up, we got Lee Moriarty and Big Bill taking on Rex Lawless and Trax. Um, this match ended with, of course, a chokeslam by Big Bill onto Rex Lawless, giving the firm, you know, the much needed recognition. But like I said, it was only 4 matches. I just don't know why they just ended. Normally, in Dark Week Elevation, we see like somewhere between like maybe somewhere around 10 or maybe a little more. I'm not sure, but whatever the reasons were, hopefully we'll see. We know there's some wrestlers that they made their appearances in Tokyo Pro Wrestling, like Mizuki. Hopefully they'll put that up soon, but we'll see what happens then. Right now, let's just end it right here with the reviews and move on with our last thing, which is, of course, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So this is what we have so far. Now, as you know, next month, Wrestling Revolver has their next show, Mayhem for All. They did announce Second Gear Crew Mix to return. I can't wait to see what other mayhem these guys are going to bring in. Not to mention the slogan, the little tagline they posted in their Twitter page says, "Hide the doors, hide your beers." Yeah, good luck with that. But also, they announced that, of course, the Queen of the Unit, Ali Catch, also returns as well. Now, for our GCW updates, so this is what's been announced. for the I Can't Feel My Face that takes place on the 15th of April, which is this month in St. Louis. It's now been told that we're going to have Thrusty taking on the second year crew. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with Thrusty, that is the combination between Effie and Alley Catch with Dark Sheik. So they call themselves Thrusty. Um, I'm not sure from what configuration of the second year crew will be involved. I'm sure we're going to have Mance Warner, Matthew Justice, and I'm going on a limb here, possibly one called Manders. Um, for their event on the 16th at the Evansville for Red Means Green, the Macizos will be in action. They'll be taking on a very interesting team that I think are very interesting to watch, Shane Mercer and Anton Axton Ray. Uh, Very interesting news for any GCW fans out there, especially if I have any subscribers from Japan. Well, they're going to be returning to Japan later on in July from the 17th through the 20th. So we know they have done some Japanese shows before. It's still unclear what they're going to do. They haven't announced what the events are going to be. Last shows they did some shows with Freedoms. Um, Most of the shows they did over there were at the Shinkiba First Ring, I believe. But yes, nonetheless, we will know for that. And of course, once again, much like we had the Indies Hall of Fame, we had the Deathmatch Hall of Fame for this year. They inducted a guy named Zanding. I don't know who this guy is, just to be honest with you. Now, this little tweet, this little news thing came out by Wrestling News. I don't know how you guys would feel about this, what Madusa said about the women's division. Now, we all know that we can say the women's division in any promotion, but especially in WWE, we want to see it shine and elevate. So this is what she had to say. Says they're not yet there where women can carry on a WWE WrestleMania main event. You have to prove that you can do that spot. So basically, she may have a valid point on that. Now we have seen women's main event on some capacity, but a WrestleMania that's going to be a bit difficult. They have to prove it that they want to earn it. So if we want to see a women's match main event in WrestleMania, we need to see that. We need to see if they can prove it, they can carry on that spot. That's something that we want to see. But the obvious question is, which match is going to be? Who will be in the main event for that? All we can do is just wait and see how this is going to go. So I think Madusa does have a good, valid point. But I don't know about you guys if you agree with her or not, because I do believe she's right, because they need to earn that spot. I don't know what you guys think. So I think that's pretty much it right now. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Sorry I only kept this short due to the fact of my job that I've been doing. But nonetheless, I was thankful that I did one particular event for the GCW Collective. I still got a lot more to go. But we'll see what happens then. I'm not sure. I know since we got Tuesday Wrestling, I'm not sure if I'll be adding one in, but we'll see how that plays out. So for now, we're just going to ride the wave and all this other stuff. So, but for now, let's just, end it right here. And I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.